Sun Wukong, right above my head there, is the most anticipated limited hero in the history of Watcher of Realms, and quite frankly, maybe like the most hyped hero ever. And a lot of that is with good reason. This guy is a single target fighter, so not so unique in that aspect, but he is one of the best, if not the best, in the game at what he does. Phenomenal, and he is going to be very easily attainable to many players because he is a limited hero. That means you are guaranteed to get him by your 200th summon on his banner. 200 may sound like a lot, but they're pretty generous in this game. And actually, you need far less than that. It's going to be a lot easier, and if you're spending a lot cheaper to get him than many people realize. So in this video, I wanted to go ahead and do the math and really show you that fact. Because if we actually play this situation out, and what's going to happen over the next 6 days before this banner begins, there's a lot of opportunities to get a lot of stuff when you take into consideration different rebates after you summon, cashing in your rares for more diamonds. It takes far less than 200. So we've got the math ready. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
So guys, in case you did not know, when it comes to limited hero banners in this game, you are guaranteed to get them within a certain number of summons. The entire history of this game, that number has been 250. However, with the update 2 updates ago, they changed that pity from 250 to only 200. So you are guaranteed not within your 250 summons, but within just 200 summons. Because we know this is coming, because we know a lot of events are coming, we actually can do this with far less. Also, to make this really clear, you are not guaranteed to get Sun Wukong or any future limited hero on your 200th summon. You are guaranteed to get them by your 200th summon. So if you have not summoned that hero by summon number 200, you know that 200th summon will be Sun Wukong or whatever future limited hero we're discussing. So there's a lot of cool things you can do. There's something called pity manipulation, which I have covered a lot in the past. That just got a little more interesting, and for some a little easier, for some a little more complicated as it changed from 250 to 200. We'll talk about that later in the week. The key thing is, worst case scenario, if you just want that one copy of Sun Wukong, and that is going to be the vast majority of us, because you're going to have to get very lucky to get extra copies and awakenings, but for that first copy, you need 200 max. So if you pull him on your first, you already got him. You were guaranteed within 200. You got him on the first. You're good to go. Then it becomes a normal banner. But if it takes 200 summons, that 200th will be him. So that is the number we're working with here. So why, oh why, does it say amount needed for 200 and the number next to it that I've placed is not 200? Well, on average, you will actually only need 173 summons to get 200 summons. What does that even mean? This sounds insane. It actually is not. So if you go to my website, fastidious.gg, best website in the realm, you can go over here on the sidebar with all our menu to tools, open that up and go to max summon. So this is something we created, I think, over a year ago, but has been on the site for just a couple months. Essentially, you can take the number of rare summoning crystals on your account and the number of diamonds, and you can know with a continuous rebate, you'll see that here, and I'll explain what that means in a second, how many actual summons you'll be able to do on average. So what do I mean by that? Well, in this game, you can sell rare heroes for diamonds, and there's only a couple rare heroes that are relevant at all, and you'll eventually have all of them very easily. You'll outgrow all the others. So rares become something that you summon and then you sell. You can sell each one for 30 diamonds. If we go here and we go to the drop chance on a blue rare summons diamonds banner, which is what the Sun Wukong or any limited banner will be, you'll see you have a 41.5% chance to get a rare summon. So we'll take that as the average. Every summon, 41.5% of the time, you are going to get a rare that you can then sell for diamonds. So what does that mean, and how can that help us get to a nice number like 173? Well, typically, if you do 173 summons, we do all the math within the tool, but I just want to explain it to you now. You can take that number, multiply it by 0.415, aka 4.5%. Let me add an equal sign here, and you will actually see typically you're going to get between 71 and 72 rares. So we'll just call that 71 rares. We can sell each one for 30 diamonds. So I can do 71 times 30, and now we've got 2,130 diamonds. Each summon is 88 diamonds. So we can take that, divide it by 88, and now we've got 24. So 24, that does not put us at 200. That actually puts us at 197. However, this is where that key phrase continuous rebate comes in, because you're going to summon those 24, and on average, you can take those 24, multiply it by the 41.5%. On average, you're going to drop 9 more rares. We can round up to 10, but we're always going to round down on this. You can then take those 9, multiply it by 30, and actually that's another 270 diamonds. Take that 270, divide it by 88, 3 summons. So typically, you could be unlucky or you could be really lucky with your rares, but over this large amount of summons, typically you're looking at 173 actually equaling 200 summons after that continuous rare rebate and selling. So from that number, we now know we're targeting 173. So if the day of the Sun Wukong banner comes, or even if it's the last day, and you have 173 to use, and you're planning on getting your rares, selling them, doing this continuous rebate, you should almost certainly be good to go. However, it's not like you need 173 summons today, December the 21st, year of our Lord. Absolutely not. We have 6 more days, and actually it's Saturday, which means we're 2 days or a day and a half from the week reset when we get tons of great stuff. On top of that, we get Guild Boss 2 drops every day over the next 6.5 days, so it's going to be 7 days worth. You are going to get Guild Boss 1 drops. The Sun Wukong event is actually going to go on for several days, a minimum of 3 days, likely 5 days or more. You're going to have all this time to gather all these other rewards. On top of that, the Sun Wukong event itself comes with a huge number of rewards. They're promising something crazy, but as you can see, I've gotten these conservative estimates here. So let me take that. We know we need 173. However, we know from the shop when the week resets, there'll be 5 more summons to grab. And that's not counting in the Dwarven Association when things like this pop up, and maybe for 70 diamonds here, or 45 diamonds if you're lucky, you can get a rare summoning crystal. Now, if you look over here from the arena shop, you can get 3 every single week, and it's pretty cheap, so you'll all get it. And from the guild shop, you can get another 2. So right off the bat, we know that's another 5. That brings this number down to 168. However, you can see I say conservatively. I should just say conservative. This is a conservative estimate of how many we can get from our daily and weeklies. So as you do the events live in the game, the Oracle's trials, and I'm not talking about placing in them, I'm just saying clearing the bottom rewards, you're going to get rare summoning crystals, you're going to get diamonds. As you do your guild boss each day, you are going to get very often 200 diamonds or 150, depending on where you are. You're going to get rare summoning crystals. When you do your guild boss 2, even if you're getting the worst possible scores, you're still going to get some quantity of rare summoning crystals. That all really, really adds up. And most people in the next 6.5 days will get 40, 50, 60 more rare summons. If we go to my account over here and we go to summoning, you can see I'm at 81 rare summons. Don't look at this diamond number. I'm going to explain it to you. Some of this is diamonds I've already saved. It's not like I took my diamonds down to the bone, but I did summon for Tallulah and Arrogance last week. When I finished that, summoning for Tallulah and Arrogance a week ago, I was at 0 rare summons. I obviously have not purchased any. This is all stuff I've gotten from a typical week of gameplay. I am endgame, so I'm doing it at like max efficiency. However, even at the beginning of the game, I know this from my Epic's free-to-play that I did for many months. In a week, you're getting 30 or 40, really. And conservatively, call it 20. That's why I'm picking that number. But it really is more than that, and we still have 6.5 days. My diamonds were all the way down to like maybe after I sold off my rares, 19,000. I've already picked up over 3,000 more diamonds. So just from that, on my account, we can take those numbers, go to my website, type in 81 and then about 3,000 diamonds. You can see I've gotten this number, and then if we max it out, like I was to use these 81 summoning crystals and the 3,000 diamonds, we cyclically use them, sell the rares, use them, sell the rares, so on. I'm looking at 133 summons I've earned in a week, about 7.5 days. That's crazy. So I've done very conservative estimates, but you can see, without a doubt, everyone will have 25 worth just from all that daily normal stuff. Moreover, we're getting this Sun Wukong event. So let me show that to you guys now. We go over here to the events. You click on this notice tab. You can see it says sneak peek Sun Wukong series. They're saying massive summoning items, chance to win 70 summons. So they're talking about summons in terms of all different currencies, and they're including diamonds as well, but they explain it here. Dive into the Sun Wukong series events to obtain massive rewards, including summoning items equivalent to 70 summons, including 11 ancient summoning crystals. That's a story for another day, but 11 ancients is amazing. However, we can subtract those 11 from the 70. We're looking now at 59. And then you take those 59, maybe one or two are divines. Let's call it 55. Usually they overestimate on this, but these events still are super, super generous. So if they're saying 55, I would think at the very least within the first 3, 4, 5 days of the banner, you're looking at a minimum of 15 summons worth of rare summoning crystals and diamonds. So if we add up those shop weeklies, we add up those conservative estimates for our daily and weekly rewards we're about to get over the next 6.5 days, we add that very conservative estimate of 15 from his event and all the special shops and things like that. That's another 45 summons we know are coming our way. So you can see, subtract 45 from 173, the conservative amount you actually need heading into this next week, let's say after the Lyra banner ends tomorrow, that number is actually 128. However, the Lyra banner is pretty important because as you can see, I did 3 case scenarios here, assuming you're summing on the Lyra plus a choose your own friend to pair with her banner, all those summons will come with rebates too. So we need 128 summons, but if you're going to plan to do 100 summons worth of rare summoning crystals and diamonds on that Lyra banner, that will come out to a rebate of 14. That's another 14 that you know is headed towards this. So if heading into the Lyra banner, you have whatever summons and you bring that number down to 114, you're good because you're going to get another 14 from all the rares you just got once you cycle through it on that banner. And then that brings you to 128. Then we take into account all this stuff. That's 200. If you summon 200 times for the Lyra and a friend banner, you'll see it comes out to, on average, 31 more summons. Why is it not 28? Why is it not just double? You have a little bit more rares, a little bit more rounding wiggle room. And the way it works out, this time it's an extra 17 on top of the 14 you would have gotten from the first 100, that you're getting an extra 17 from the second 100. So subtract that 31. Now you know after you take that the rares you got from the Lyra summoning, do your continuous rebate on top of everything else. Now the number you're looking at is 97 on average. If you did 300 summons, which is probably closer to what I'm going to do, 300 to 400 summons, maybe even a little bit spicier, we'll see, for this Lyra and a friend banner. On average, you're going to need a rebate once you take all those rares and do that over the Sun Wukong and do your constant selling and cycling and selling. I've got element on the mind. Selling and cycling and so on. It's going to be a rebate of 47. Subtract that from 128. If you're planning to summon fairly big on the Lyra banner, coming out of that summoning session, you only need 81 summons left. That's pretty wild. So I just wanted to make this video to explain the math. For a lot of people that are nervous that they're not going to be able to get Sun Wukong, it's a lot easier than you think. And if you're wanting to spend a little money, it's going to be a lot cheaper than you think. You're not going to have to buy 100 summons. That's just impossible. You might have to buy, a pack of 10 or 20 or 30, depending on how low you're starting, but everyone's going to be in pretty good shape. And most free-to-play players, if they've prepared at all and then watch this video, you can be confident you'll get to 200 at the worst case scenario, and you will get your 1 copy of Sun Wukong. There you go, guys. I know this was a very math-heavy video, but hey, that is a staple of what I do, of how I think, of what my channel really is. I hope this helped you. I hope it gives you guys some peace of mind. I know it does for me, for sure. And it really puts things into perspective. The game's really generous right now. There's crazy ways we can cycle through. Don't be afraid to head over to my website and take advantage of this tool. It can help you for everything when you're trying to calculate how many summons you've got. You can see it calculates the max summons with rare gems rebate. It's really helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Share it with your mother. I hope all of you get Sun Wukong, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.